And welcome to Technology Tap. I'm ProfessorJRod. On today's episode, we're going to talk about displays. We're going to talk about the different video connections and like HDMI and DVI. And we're also going to talk about different monitors. Let's get to it. All right. On this episode, it's all about displays. And the first thing we're going to talk about display is your normal everyday the type of display that everybody's used to. It's the VGA. Now, if you don't know what the VGA is, it's the or also known as the DB15. It's the VGA port in the back of the computer. It's usually blue. And the reason why they call it DB15 is because it has 15 holes. So when you have a cable, your VGA cable, it should have 15 pins. And this VGA supports SD and HD analog video signals. The one other thing about your VGA connector is if one of those pins is bent or broken, it's possible that you're going to lose a color. So you might lose like brown or red or orange depending on which pin is broken. So if you look at your monitor and you see like it's off a color, check the VGA connector, check the pins to see if one of the pins is either bent or broken. The next cable we're going to talk about is DVI, which is Digital Visual Interface. It supports SD and HD analog and digital video signals. Now, there's 4 different types of DVI. There's DVI-D, which is digital video, DVI-A, which is analog video, DVI-I, which is digital and analog video, and we have digital M1DA, which is digital video and USB. Now, this was supposed to be the replacement for the DB15, but something came along that was more popular, which is HDMI. High definition HDMI stands for High Definition Multimedia Interface, supports HD digital video and audio signal, and HDMI has become the most common connectors for monitors, TVs, game consoles, and other consumer electronics. There's 3 types of HDMI: regular HDMI, mini HDMI, and micro HDMI. If there's anything that you get out of this podcast, please, please don't go to a certain store and buy gold-plated HDMI cables. They're going to tell you that it's better conductor. They're going to sell it to you for $50. No. Just buy it from Amazon. The last cable we're going to talk about is the DisplayPort. DisplayPort supports HD digital video and audio signals, popularized by Apple and commonly used by gamers to get high refresh rate screens. Can be combined with USB and Thunderbolt ports. And there's 2 types of DisplayPort. There's your regular DisplayPort cable, and there's mini DisplayPort. Now we also have video adapters and converters. Video adapters can be used to change a video connector from one type to another. They're simply devices, so they cannot convert analog to digital or vice versa. Video converters can change analog to digital signals since they are more sophisticated devices. Next, we're going to talk about video cards. Video cards are used to process image data and provide a connection for a display. They can be integrated into the motherboard, so you can have onboard video card, or you can have your dedicated video card via PCIe expansion slot. Now, most people, especially if you're a gamer, like to buy the dedicated PCIe video card. Please note, video cards are the most it's the highest equipment where it consumes the most power. So make sure before you buy those $500 video cards that you have the right power for it, because you might put it on your computer and your computer might not turn on. They also have this multiple video cards where you have more than one video card in your computer. Multiple video cards can provide better performance for gaming and other GPU intensive process like video rendering if you're using AutoCAD and physics function. A bridge is used to connect the video cards to each other so they can synchronize their operations. SLI, Scalable Link Interface Technology, is used by NVIDIA video cards to connect multiple video cards to a single display. And Crossfire is AMD's competing technologies. Now you could also have multiple displays, which two monitors or even three monitors. I've seen one guy who has three monitors on his desk. I have two monitors. And let me tell you, if you don't have two monitors, you're not living the life, because having two monitors will actually change your life. Having multiple devices can provide a larger workspace for more complex software or to make it easier to multitask. Now, being a professor, it's good to have on one side the student's paper or the student's assignment and the grade book on the other. So it's very easy to go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It allows for multiple full screen programs and provides more space to tile program windows. Can be accomplished by using multiple video cards or using a video card with multiple video ports. You can mix different types of ports and connectors. So for example, I have two monitors. One is using a display port and the other one is using HDMI. That's how I got them connected. Next, we're going to talk about the different display types. Remember the old CRT monitors, those heavy monitors? I'm sure whoever's listening, either mom or grandma still has those big, bulky CRT monitors. But what's the advantage of CRT monitors? Well, they have a clear image at many different resolutions. What's the disadvantage? Well, there's plenty. They take up a lot of space on a desk. They generate a lot of heat, consume a lot of power, and the colors often get stuck, which may require what they call degaussing or degaussing, depending how you pronounce it. A lot of the more advanced, and I put advanced in quotes, CRT monitors had a degaussing button. When you hit it, you press the button, it kind of shakes the monitor inside. So let's say if you turn on your monitor and everything is shifted to the right or to the left, you can hit that button and it kind of shakes the monitor into its right place. Now we use, hopefully you're using LCD monitors, and LCD monitors take up less space, consume less power, generate less heat. The disadvantage of a LCD monitor is its clear image only at one native resolution. So for the exam, if they ask you, for the CompTIA A Plus exam, if they ask you, what resolution does LCD monitor best at? The answer is native resolution. You have some terminology as far as LCD is concerned. Resolution. Resolution defines how many pixels are used to make up an image on the screen. More pixels will produce an image with more details. Brightness increases the intensity of the light, which can improve a dim image. Viewing angle would affect at what angles the screen will be viewable. A wider viewing angle is preferred. Response rate is the time it takes the screen to shift the color of a single pixel from black to white and back to black again. A refresh rate is the number of times an entire image can be drawn on a screen per second. Contrast ratio is the measurement of how many steps between black to white on a screen. A higher contrast ratio will produce an image with darker blacks and brighter whites. Color depth defines how many bits are used to produce the color of a single pixel. More bits equals more colors. And then there's LCD screen types. You have twisted pneumatic, which are lower cost, lower viewing angles, a little bit poor color reproduction, and fast response rate. And the other one is in-plane switching, which is a higher cost, better viewing angles, better color reproduction, and slower response rate. So not all LCDs are equal. Comparing LCDs, you have LCD with CCFL, cold catalytic fluorescent lamp backlight. These are usually thicker than your regular LCDs. They require an inverter to power the backlight. Then you have LEDs, which is LCD with LED backlight. Newer style of LCD that are thinner, have a sharper picture, and produce better black levels. Then you have your OLEDs, organic LEDs, produce the picture and the light in a single element. They are the thinnest display type and they provide the best picture, color, and have the lowest power consumptions. Now, what does that sound like to you? Provide the best picture, color, and have the lowest power consumption. That sounds like your cell phone, right? Your cell phone is made of OLED. That's one of the reasons why your cell phone is so expensive. The other reason why your cell phone is so expensive because if you're willing to pay $1,200 for one, they're going to continue to sell it for $1,200. That's the other reason why. Next, we'll talk about projectors. And projectors can produce the biggest screen size. It kind of throws an image on the screen or a wall, best used in low light situations. Lumens are used to measure how bright a projector can get. Bright rooms require a projector with high lumens. DLP, digital light processing, is the most common technology used for projectors. But I warned you with peace and love. When you stop using your projector, let's say you watch a movie, the movie's over, you decided to shut it off. When you shut it off, a fan is still going to be running. Do not unplug it until that fan stops because what the fan is doing is blowing all the hot air out of the projector because the projector gets really, really hot. And another thing about the projector is the lamp. It's not cheap. It is not. It's not cheap. It's a little bit on the expensive side. Next, we're gonna talk about VR. VR headsets provide an immersive experience by displaying an image which covers your entire field of view. If you don't have a VR headset, get one. I got the Oculus 2 and it's fabulous. Forewarned, it seems to me that the older you are, um, it might get you nauseous. So I think your body has to get used to the headset. So I've noticed that younger kids can put it on, have it on for a while, and they don't get dizzy. But the older you are, you get you'll get a little bit nauseous. They actually recommend that you take a Dramamine. Not recommending this to anybody. I'm not a doctor. Um, and then wait a half an hour and then play. You know, like an hour, right? Every time you play, you do a little bit longer until your body gets used to the VR because it will get you nauseous. Uh, the VR headsets may require many connections, two HDMI or display port for each screen, one for each eye, one USB or Thunderbolt connections for sensors that can be built onto the headset to sense movements. Other connections may be required for additional sensors around the room. I have it and it's great. If you can afford to buy one, buy it. What happens if you have issues with your screen? Well, if you have no image on the screen, verify that the screen is powered on and the power plug is plugged in. The power cable is plugged in. Check the video connectors on both ends. Remember, you do have two ends on the video connectors. Check them both. Spontaneous shutdowns, display and projectors can overheat, which can cause them to shut down to prevent permanent damage. So make sure that fans are working and you're getting good airflow. Dead pixels, a pixel can burn out just like a light bulb. It'll appear like a black dot on the screen and it never shifts colors. This cannot be repaired. And if you cannot tolerate it, then you're just going to have to replace the screen. Dim image, first check the brightness settings and the backlight settings on the display. Make sure that that's working properly. The backlight can burn out or an inverter can fail, which can cause a dim image. Flickering image, if a screen is displaying an image that blinks in and out, it could be operating with an unsupported refresh rate. A loose or damaged cable can also cause the screen to flicker. Burn-in, if a static image is left on the screen for too long, an impression of the image can remain on the screen. To prevent burn-in, use a screensaver to dim the display or change the image being displayed. This used to happen years ago, early 90s, with this program called Lotus 123, which looked exactly like Excel. It had the column and the row. And you have people in the office, secretaries, who will leave that Excel up all day. And these were what they call CGA monitors or EGA monitors. This is going back a long time. And it would burn the column and the row on the screen. Even if you shut off the screen, you still see the column and row. And there's nothing you can do about it. You eventually will throw out the screen. And the last thing is oversized imaging and icons. Check the scaling settings in the operating system. Make sure that that's working properly. All right, I want to thank you for listening to this topic on displays. Remember, you can always reach me at ProfessorJRod at gmail.com. And thank you for listening, and I'll see you back in a couple of weeks. This has been a presentation of Little Chacha Productions, art by Sarah, music by J. Cancon.